They are watching you from a distance and slowly coming to terms with the fact that you are no longer the same person they once knew. You are growing into a new version of yourself, one that is calmer, more self-assured, and deeply grounded. What unsettles them the most is that you seem genuinely at peace without them. There is no visible desperation, no lingering chaos, no sense that you are struggling to fill the space they left behind. Instead, you appear centered and whole, and this realization alone shakes them. It becomes painfully clear to them that you no longer wish to remain attached to an environment defined by low, toxic energy, an atmosphere where even the smallest things turned into arguments and emotional exhaustion became the norm. Your refusal to engage with that cycle anymore speaks louder than any confrontation ever could. This shift in your attitude takes on a serious and irreversible tone in their mind. They recognize that you have reached a point of emotional maturity where you no longer tolerate dysfunction disguised as passion or control disguised as care. As this awareness settles in, waves of regret begin to surface. They feel a deep sadness for what they lost, especially when they realize that the loss did not happen by chance, but as a direct consequence of their own ego, pride, and manipulative behavior. Moments from the past replay in their mind, things they said in anger, choices they made to assert control, opportunities they had to do better but chose not to. What once felt justified or powerful now feels foolish and self-destructive. There is a heavy sense of karmic justice at play, and on some level, they know it. Justice is clearly in your favor now. While you move forward with clarity and emotional balance, they are left struggling internally. The mental peace they once disrupted in your life is now something they themselves cannot find. Ever since they walked away from the connection, or pushed it to the breaking point, there has been a lingering restlessness within them. Their mind feels crowded, unsettled, and noisy. Regret follows them into quiet moments, and distraction only works temporarily. The absence of your energy has created a void they do not know how to fill. They are also becoming increasingly aware of the power you now carry. You embody the energy of the Empress, self-worth, abundance, confidence, and emotional sovereignty. You no longer seek validation, you attract it naturally. This realization both awes and terrifies them. They see how you have stepped into your value effortlessly, and it forces them to confront how they once failed to honor it. The thought of losing you permanently creates panic because they understand now that someone like you is rare. You are not easily replaced, and deep down, they know they let go of something extraordinary. Their fear intensifies as they become conscious of the fact that others are drawn to you. People notice your growth, your calm presence, and the quiet strength you carry. You are no longer fighting to be chosen, you are simply being chosen. This realization fuels their anxiety, as they imagine someone else stepping into the space they once occupied, offering you the stability, respect, and emotional safety you always deserved. The idea that someone else could cherish you without the chaos they brought into your life feels unbearable to them. At the same time, they are forced to confront the internal consequences of their own actions. All the impulsive decisions, harsh words, and emotionally charged reactions they directed at you in moments of anger now return to them as internal conflict. What once felt like temporary emotional release now manifests as guilt, fear, and self-doubt. They struggle with the knowledge that their behavior pushed away someone who genuinely cared, someone who was willing to grow with them rather than against them. This internal battle creates a constant sense of unease, as they wrestle with the understanding that their own lack of emotional control cost them a meaningful connection. In contrast, your energy continues to rise. You are no longer entangled in proving your worth or explaining your feelings to someone unwilling to understand. Your silence, your peace, and your forward movement speak volumes. Without saying a word, You have shown them what it means to choose self-respect over emotional turmoil. While they remain trapped in fear and regret, you are stepping into a life defined by balance, fulfillment, and inner harmony. The connection may have ended, but the lesson remains, one they carry heavily, as they watch you thrive in the very peace they once disrupted. Every time I feel that you and I are finally moving forward, that we are slowly healing and making real progress together, life seems to throw another unexpected and even tougher moment in my path. It appears out of nowhere, without warning, and once again pulls me back into the exhausting energy of conflict, pain, and unresolved trauma. This cycle feels endless, and I am honestly so tired of it. It drains me emotionally and mentally, and there are moments when it feels like it is breaking me from the inside. No matter how hard I try to stay strong, the weight of everything I carry sometimes becomes unbearable, and I find myself struggling just to keep going. What hurts me the most is the realization that, because of me and my circumstances, you have suffered too. Knowing that my battles, my wounds, and my situation have caused you pain fills me with guilt and sadness. You never deserved to be caught in the middle of my struggles, yet you stood by me with patience and care. I carry that awareness with me every day, and it is something I deeply regret. I wish I could have protected you from all of it, from every moment of uncertainty and emotional strain. The thought that you were hurting because of me weighs heavily on my heart. More than anything, I want to put an end to this pain and finally be at peace with you. I want a life where we are not constantly fighting circumstances, fear, or distance, but instead building something stable and lasting together. I want to be with you forever, not just in words, but in reality, in the quiet moments, in shared laughter, and even in challenges we face side by side. My heart truly longs for that day when we no longer have to struggle to be together, when love is no longer accompanied by fear or uncertainty. That longing has never faded, if anything, it has only grown stronger with time. I want you to know, from the deepest part of my heart, that I never intended to leave you in the middle of everything. Walking away was never what I wanted, and letting go was never my choice. You matter more to me than I have ever been able to fully express. You are not just someone I love, you are someone I already consider a huge and irreplaceable part of my life. Even when we were apart, even when circumstances forced distance between us, you remained present in my thoughts, my decisions, and my dreams for the future. Unfortunately, life did not move in our favor the way we hoped it would. Circumstances, timing, and forces beyond our control pushed us apart, even when our hearts were still holding on. That separation was not a reflection of how I feel about you, but rather a result of situations that neither of us could fully change at the time. It was painful, confusing, and deeply unfair, yet we had to endure it. Despite everything, my feelings never wavered, and my intentions never changed. I want to assure you that the promises I made to you were real, and they still are. I do not take my words lightly, especially when they are spoken from love. I will never break those promises, no matter how long the journey takes or how difficult it becomes. I truly believe that we will be together again, and that this phase, no matter how painful, is part of a larger process we must trust. I know trusting the process is not easy, especially when everything feels uncertain, but I ask you to hold on just a little longer, the way I am holding on too. The thought of losing you for a lifetime is something I cannot bear. It is a fear that lingers in my heart and keeps me awake at night. I cannot imagine a future where you are completely absent from my life, where I have to accept that what we shared is gone forever. That idea hurts more than any hardship I have faced so far. You are not replaceable, and what we have is not something that can be easily forgotten or recreated. I may not have said this to you clearly before, or perhaps I did not say it enough, but I want you to know the truth now. I have never loved anyone the way I love you. This love is deeper, more intense, and more meaningful than anything I have ever experienced. It has changed me, challenged me, and taught me what it truly means to care for another person. No matter where life takes us, this love is real, and it will always be a part of who I am. I can't stop watching you, thinking about you, and quietly observing everything that makes you who you are. You are on my mind every single moment, day and night, in ways that feel constant and unshakable. Even when I try to distract myself, my thoughts always circle back to you. When you were with me, I found myself struggling to decide which direction to take in life, not because I lacked desire or intention, but because so many things were beyond my control at the time. I felt pulled in different directions, uncertain of how to move forward while still holding on to what mattered most to me. Despite that confusion, I now realize that everything I truly needed was already there, standing right in front of me, even when I didn't fully understand it then. What I had with you awakened something deeper in me. My instincts, my heart, and my sense of truth all tell me the same thing, that you would be perfect for me as my future partner, whether as my wife or my husband. That certainty didn't come from impulse or fantasy, it came from knowing how you made me feel, how you challenged me, and how naturally I imagined a future where we stood side by side. Still, I knew that love alone wasn't enough if I didn't first put my own life in order. I understood that I needed to make real changes, meaningful changes, not only for myself but for the future I hoped we could share. Most importantly, I wanted to do this without causing pain or harm to anyone along the way, because I never wanted my growth to come at the expense of someone else's peace. I knew, deep down, that I had to find my way back to you, not recklessly, not with empty promises, but with intention and maturity. That meant preparing myself for every challenge that could come my way. I wasn't naive about it. I knew the road would not be easy, and I accepted that reality fully. I understood there would be moments of doubt, moments of fear, and moments where things would feel uncertain or overwhelming. Yet I was willing to face all of it, because the destination mattered more to me than the discomfort of the journey. I was ready to grow, to learn, and to confront parts of myself that needed healing and change. I also knew there would be times when you might struggle to trust me, and I never blamed you for that. Trust is fragile, especially when life has already taught us how easily it can be shaken. I accepted that rebuilding trust would take time, patience, and consistency, and I was prepared to give all of that without complaint. I understood that words alone would never be enough, only my actions, over time, could prove the sincerity of my intentions. Even then, I remained ready to carry that weight because the bigger picture was always clear in my mind, a true, honest, and meaningful reconciliation with you, built on transparency and without any form of deception. I wasn't chasing a temporary comfort or a fleeting moment. What I wanted was something real, something lasting, something rooted in truth and mutual understanding. I wanted us to come together not as we once were, but as better, stronger versions of ourselves. I knew that required patience and humility, and I embraced both willingly. I accepted that healing doesn't happen overnight and that trust, once shaken, must be earned slowly and sincerely. I know I have no right to ask you to wait for me, and I would never place that burden on you. Your life, your time, and your happiness are your own, and I respect that completely. Still, I wanted you to know that I haven't disappeared or moved on without thought. I haven't gone anywhere. I'm still here, just a little behind you, sorting things out, doing the work I need to do, and becoming the person I should have been all along. Every step I take is intentional, guided by the hope that one day our paths might truly align again. Even from a distance, my heart remains connected to you. Everything I am doing is with honesty, clarity, and respect for what we shared and what we could still become. Whether our future unfolds together or not, I wanted you to know that my feelings were never careless or temporary. They were real, enduring, and rooted in a desire to grow, to heal, and to love in the right way, at the right time, with no illusions, only truth.